Well, I'm in conversation via Skype with Carl Hetu from the Catholic Near East Welfare Association. I had to write that down because the acronym CNEWA, I said, what does that mean? So, Carl, we now know what it means. Thanks for sitting down to chat with us here for a moment. Tell me what it is that you guys do. What is the focus of your ministry?
Well, we have two focus. One is pastoral, to strengthen the churches and the Eastern churches in particular, Catholic churches and Orthodox as well, all over the world, mainly, of course, where they are, in the Middle East, Ukraine, Eastern Europe, India, and Northeast Africa. And the other part is to help their humanitarian work. So all the good social services, emergency to refugees, help for the elderly, the children, the poor, schools, universities, health clinic, you name it. Anything that is social work to help out the poor and needy, involved with.
Now, you mentioned several of the countries you're involved with, but not the one that is most interesting to me. I don't know if they prepared you in advance, but I grew up actually in Jerusalem, Israel. Some of your work happens in Jerusalem itself. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We have three offices in the Middle East, and one of them is based in Jerusalem, in the Old City,
cool.
the New Gate. And so we do a lot of work from there to in Israel and, of course, in the Palestinian territories.
So I was in Jerusalem just a few months ago. I know the New Gate very well. For some of our viewers who are very interested in Israel and in ministry in Israel in particular, talk to me through what a normal week would look like in your ministry in Jerusalem itself. What would you guys be doing most of the time?
Well, our work really is to connect with all the churches that are there, all the institutions. What's interesting to know is the Christians there account for 45%. Just in the West Bank alone, 45% of all the social work is done by the church.
Wow.
And so in Israel, we do, of course, it's a bit different because the Israeli government provides a lot in terms of social services through the government. But through there, we would account and work with where the needs are. And so, of course, we look at where the poor are, whether it's in Haifa, whether it's in Jaffa, Tel Aviv, whether it's in Jerusalem itself. And so our teams go and meet the different institutions run by the church there and trying to find out where the needs are. And that's where we found a great needs 3 years ago that I guess has emerged in Israel, which is the migrant Catholic workers that have come to Israel to have a better life. But are also living in poverty, and so that's been a great ministry for us.
Now, where are they coming from? These Christian migrant workers, where are they coming from?
You know, it's a phenomenon that's been hitting the world. I think the last few years, mainly the last 20. They come from the Philippines. Many Filipinos all over the Middle East and in Israel as well. From India, a large group from India, Sri Lanka. As well, coming also from Ethiopia, Eritrea, that's just north, Sudan, and all those different countries over there. So those are the main group coming in that are in Israel working right now, yes.
So as we think and pray for you, what are some of the key challenges that your ministry is facing right now in Israel?
Well, the ministry, of course, is we need more support, especially the migrant worker in particular. They are emerging as a large community that are doing good in Israel, but they're not citizens of Israel, of course.
Right.
And not being citizens, they don't have access to many of the services. And one of it is many of those migrant workers come here and they have children here in Israel. And of course, their child from the year 0 to 3 years old have to be put somewhere. And so there's no really daycare, and it's very horrible stories that's been happening there, but also miracles as well, where our organization with the local church has developed daycares to allow those migrant workers leaving from 6 a.m. until 7 p.m. to go and work, and leaving in good care their children to one woman that usually is a migrant herself, that will babysit 3 children, 4, 5 children instead of 30. I mean, just 3 years ago, we discovered like one woman would babysit 30 children all day long like that.
Wow.
And you can imagine the atrocities. Many were found dead, actually, and that's why the church and the government and many NGOs, non-governmental organizations, has decided to help out. So that for us, it's a very important work over there as well. Yes.
Let's just finish. We have just a few moments left, like literally 30 seconds. Tell me one thing that you've seen God do recently that is very encouraging to you in the work that you're doing.
Well, you know, one of the things we do right now because of Syria and Iraq, a lot of Iraqi Christians that are fleeing because of the war, but also because of persecution. I've seen the work we've done in Jordan in particular, where a young girl, 12 years old, was totally mute because she was shaken by what happened to her and her family. And all the care and work and love that she got from the church there allowed her after 6 months to go back and speak again and laugh again and try to have a sense of normalcy. And I think this
Beautiful.
is the kind of work we do through God's eyes, through God's Spirit, to really bring about the best out of people. And for me, if a migrant worker can laugh and enjoy through her faith,
Yeah.
and a young refugee can do the same, I'd say then we do our work correctly.
Well, all I have to say to that, Carl, is hallelujah. And God bless you.
Thank you very much.
We'll be
Indeed.
praying for you.
Hallelujah. Absolutely.
Thanks,
Yes.
Carl. Have a great day. We'll be praying for you and for your team. Wasn't
Thank you very much.
wasn't that powerful stuff? I love it. God is still alive and doing great work around the world. We'll be right back.